Thank you very much, Cathaoirleach. Again, I would very much like to thank the Minister for his very considered comments on the debate. I'd also like to thank all of our Senate colleagues for the, I think, dignified and thoughtful manner in which we have conducted this debate. And I think it does indicate all that is right about the Senate, and indeed all of the debate we've had about reform and about the Senate being a place where we can air ideas and we can move forward with ideas that will excite society and that can indicate to the wider society that this House has got something to offer in the wider field of Ireland and the difficulties that we face. In relation to the comments that you made, Minister, I'd just like to just note a few points. Yes, indeed, the SRI report in 2009, written by David Duffy, did highlight the issue of negative equity in the Irish housing market. But I think it would also be fair to say that David Duffy did highlight that while people in negative equity continued to be able to repay their mortgages, that there were very serious negative impacts of negative equity, both on the market and on the lives of individuals. And he did point out that people in negative equity don't behave like homeowners, that they actually behave like renters, and they don't invest in their own homes, for example. It's also important to note that those figures were 2009 and we're now in 2011, and I think the issue really is that the rate of default is going up and going up significantly, and I think that is the worrying trend that we are facing, is that the incremental level of default, the 80,000 homeowners who have restructured, of those 80,000, 40% of them are in arrears on their restructured mortgages. And I think that is the critical issue, that we are actually facing a slide into a greater problem. Now, one of the issues about the Code of Conduct is it's designed to secure repayment, and I think this is a crucial point. Of course, the banking sector are happy to secure ultimate repayment. The issue is that there is a significant cohort of people out there who will never be able to repay the loans that they have taken out. And I think that is ultimately the critical issue that we're facing. One of the points that has been raised by a number of colleagues, and indeed particularly by Senator O'Keefe, is the number of subprime lenders that preyed on Irish people during the boom years. And I know myself from my own research around tenant purchase policy, when I examined those files, the significant number of social housing tenants who bought their homes under the tenant purchase scheme did so with start mortgages and did so with GE Money, Winchester and so forth. And if you examine the figures on repossessions down in the courts, they are the lenders who are the cause of most of the repossessions in this country. The issue arises, what do we do about people who find themselves in situations where you are talking about no way out? So part of the reason behind this motion, or part of the purpose behind this motion, is not just simply to talk about shared equity, but to talk about people who are in grossly untenable positions and how we can draw a line in the sand for them, that they are not carrying this debt on into never, never land. Indeed, we're looking at intergenerational debt, if you look at the type of debt that people are facing. I have to be honest to say that I believe the Cooney report was flawed. I think it took an exceptionally conservative attitude and was not willing to explore some of the issues. And I have to say, I think part of that was partly due to the composition of the Commission. In relation to the Scottish system and the scheme, we put this forward for consideration. We're not suggesting for a moment that it is the only answer. It is a potential answer. It proposes certain ways that we in Ireland could put forward some of these solutions. And we did say in the course of the debate that there is potential under the incremental purchase scheme, which is under the 2009 Housing Miscellaneous Provisions Act, where you're looking at a 40 to 60% stake between the state and the homeowner. There is potential there to use that scheme. And finally, just if you'll indulge me for a minute, Cathaoirleach, in relation to the fund idea, and this has been mentioned, we have put significant amounts of money into the Irish banking system. Instead of pouring it from the top in, there is nothing to stop us using part of that fund to put it from the bottom up. In other words, to use some of those funds to redeem some of the mortgage equity that's in the Irish system. It would have the benefit of allowing the banks to crystallise some of the debts that are on their books, and also to put liquidity into the system. And finally, if I could just make one final point, and it's in relation to all of us here today. We are a nation of homeowners. It has been the policy of successive governments, not just Fianna Fáil, not just Fine Gael, but also the Labour Party, to encourage home ownership. And part of the encouragement of home ownership has been at the cost of social housing provision and at the cost of the rented sector. We have created this monster where people will do anything to get into home ownership. And I think it is only fair, and it behoves all of us here today, that we must find a solution for the people who now find themselves in the position they are in, because that is the society we have created. Thank you.